welcome to Super Geeks. Now, for me, it's April 1st, 2019, and
that's the end of the show. Goodbye, guys.
April Fools, we didn't really have a show. We just want to say hi. See ya. No, I'm just kidding.
Double April Fools.
The truth
we actually
hurts.
do have a show.
The truth hurts.
Actually, no, that's George. Okay, so cut this bit out.
No.
And okay, no. What I mean is slice this bit out.
No.
And create a big, huge, long silence, and then splice back in Carlos going double April Fools, and then us continue the show.
Nah. I like the idea of just being raw. Sort of like.
I mean, some people.
A date I once
some
had.
people like barebacking, but whatever.
Yeah.
What do you mean, some people? Everyone.
That's true.
Everyone.
It is April 1st, 2019.
I don't know. I have a thing for latex, so yeah.
Oh, God. So it's 20. Some people call it 2019, like me, and other people call it 2019. Whatever you want to call it, it is April 1st, at least in the East Coast. With me today, as usual, is George Silsby. How you doing today, George? I'm doing all right, George. How are you? Oh my God, I gotta stop doing this. It's not funny. But really, who's
wow? It's become self-aware. Kill it with fire.
He's a rogue AI.
I was gonna say the same thing. It's Skynet. Come alive. In George.
Control.
I need help.
Alt delete.
F7, baby.
With me today,
Control
as
F4.
usual. With me today. Okay. With me today, as usual, is Carlos Pedraza. How are you today, Carlos?
Ready for action.
And also eating
with
a
his
sandwich.
kung fu grip.
With his kung fu grip. He does have a kung fu grip, according to Carlos. And
I was afraid you were going to call on me first.
Well, you're first on the list, sir.
Well, he had a sandwich in his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Sean, the jokes I could tell after that one. Oh, my God.
He's parsing a turkey sandwich, guys.
He is actually the most actively eating on the show.
It's not the first turkey that's been in Carlos'
It's not the
mouth.
first time that I've listened back and Carlos like, oh, shit, talking to me. Seriously, I'm not even joking. But you know what? I don't blame you, because food is a good thing.
So, give him some slack.
I got some chips. I'll eat them in the middle of the show and see what happens.
He's a slacker from Seattle. Give me a break.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he's not from there, but
we're very mellow
but
here.
He's not a slacker of the McFly clan. What?
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
All right, moving on.
Moving on to the person who.
Carlos in the movie. I'm picturing Carlos in the movie Singles with.
Oh my God! And you called me old, Sean. Jesus Christ!
with the hair and the flannel.
Yes,
that's Carlos. That's all I can see now. That's it. I'm done.
That's it. He's part of a grunge band. He's retroing it.
Speaking of bowel movements, how are you, Raul?
The Baul is here.
Raul the Baul. He was away for a little while with a bowel movement because when he's like sort of the reverse of Bortus on Orville, except once a year he has to poo, and when he poos, it's like he's gone for a while.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
Yeah,
after 40, it's not once a year.
Right, and the other thing about the two is, unlike Bortus, we're not sick of Raul.
Oh man,
some Metamucil will help with that, Raul.
No, even with the mustache on, you're really gonna get You didn't like the mustache, Bortus?
Oh yeah. Look, you know what he reminded me of?
Groucho
Carl from Aqua Teen Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh my God,
yeah. All right, yeah, I give you that. Okay, and speaking of people,
what are you doing in my friggin' pool?
Oh my God! And so one of them had a bowel movement, and the other one, he probably isn't wearing pants. Or are you? How are you doing, Sean?
I'm wearing pants tonight. Nah, fuck you. It's April Fool's Day. Of course I'm not wearing pants.
Oh my God. You had me going.
You had me. But you know what? I hate it when people don't give it that moment that it needs to really try to make people go, what?
Well, you do your April Fool's shit the way you do it. I do it the way I do it.
That's right, George.
Yeah,
let's just control shit.
And honestly, if he did announce he was wearing pants, we would have reacted instantly anyway.
Yeah,
right.
True.
Because
That's
it's
true.
just so shocking.
That's true. Also with us today is Sun CL. How are you, Sun?
Hello, everybody. Making crude jokes and being myself.
Which is both.
What, you're saying she's a crude joke? Come on now.
Yes. Yes, sir.
I've always been a crude joke.
I know her longer.
No, you don't. I've known her since
I prefer
2009.
the term raw.
I think I've known her before, George.
Really?
Yes.
Want to bet?
No.
I think you lose.
You don't have any money.
She's my friend!
Son,
George.
you have two boys
I mean,
fighting over you.
I know.
Yeah, it's
Well,
look.
one
There's
man.
a reason I'm sitting here with popcorn, and it's not just normal popcorn. It's popcorn shrimp. So
I
Now
love.
we're reenacting the movie Clueless. Great.
I
Now
love
I'm
the
about to
movie
eat a
Clueless.
chip.
Don't even start.
Now I'm about to eat a chip
you
live.
know what? You
Here
know
we
what
go.
movie? You know what movie needs a remake?
It's a chip. It's good.
The Tim Curry,
Mm.
the Tim Curry Clue.
Clue, yeah,
needs a
absolutely.
remake.
Oh, the one where at
Oh
the end
my
it goes,
God.
I'm going to go home and
Yes.
sleep with my wife. I like that one.
Actually, with that movie, I don't know if you guys realize when it originally was in theaters,
It had multiple
different-
endings.
Multiple endings,
And
exactly.
Yeah,
also-
no,
and
yeah,
it
they
had a
showed
winner, didn't it, guys?
Yeah.
Wasn't there $1 million winner in the whoever could guess the ending?
I
You
don't
remember that contest?
I just know that I don't. All I know is the trivia about there being multiple endings. In the
Gotcha,
theaters
gotcha.
that you
Yeah,
went
no,
to.
see,
And
here's
you
the
thing,
and
the-
video release
yeah.
has them all.
In
Okay.
the show, in their showings, they split the ending into multiple parts because there was multiple separate endings in the video itself. Like
Okay.
when you watch it on any network or when you get the DVD of it, all of those endings are spliced back together at the end
Right,
of the movie.
exactly. It said, and then it goes, or it could have happened like this, and then it gets to the final one and says,
Oh, yeah.
but this is
I
how
remember
it
that.
really happened.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, let's get started.
I literally just saw this the other day. It's my favorite comedy of all time.
I love it.
It needs a remake.
It
So,
does.
Sean, I'm going to start with you because you've recently caught up with my suggestion about subscribing on the at least for the trial of DC Universe, the streaming channel, and you watched. Well, we'll start with you talked Doom Patrol because the farting donkey was what really got
Yep.
you interested.
Yep.
And I'm really curious as to what your overall view of Doom Patrol is up to this point.
Well, I'll give you my impressions of both shows. First and foremost, I watched Doom Patrol first. I got through the first 6 episodes last week. I did them in about 2-3 days. I became hooked instantly. It's very intriguing. A lot of fun. It's wacky as hell. I mean, it's over the place, but it's cohesive. But it's got a very specific style to it. It reminds me a lot of Umbrella Academy as far as
Yeah, I
a
was
lot of
going
the
to ask
style,
you
style
your
is
opinion.
concerned.
Comparison, please.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
it's-
reasons why they're similar, which we talked about in
No,
previous
I
episodes,
don't.
yeah.
I'm not. It's just a matter of style, and I dig it. It works, especially in the context of everything that's going on, especially with Mr. Nobody, and in that madness going on with it. And by the way, I love the way Alan Tudyk breaks the fourth wall in that show.
By
It's
the way,
fucking
Alan
amazing.
Tudyk plays Mr. Nobody, for those that don't know.
Yeah, good point. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. Right. Alan Tudyk does play Mr. Nobody. Yeah, it's I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's one of the few shows where it's like, how do I put this? I really shouldn't like any of these characters, yet they're so incredibly fucking lovable for some unknown reason. The characters are all excellently portrayed. They've got great backstories. It's loads of fun. It's wacky. I mean, it's comic book wacky. I mean, it's a kind of strange shit that only exists in comic book universes, but it's incredibly well presented. It's unlike any, shall we say, mainstream comic adaptation you'll ever see. You know, it's, if I recall, this is also a Berlanti production as well, is it not?
Yes. Yep. So is Titans. Yep.
Yeah, I know. It's nothing like Berlanti has ever done with DC stuff before. It's great. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. But I think for me, for what drama I like from my comic book series, because I love the Marvel style on Netflix of those style of series. Titans is just outstanding. Titans is very much in the vein of the excuse me, hold on. Had to burp. Okay. Titans
Real life.
Yep.
Joe, where are you?
Unfiltered. Titans is very much stylistically similar to the Marvel Netflix
The grittiness,
series,
you mean,
which
Sean?
it played out as a straight up drama, and
Gotcha.
it works
Well, real quick,
very
Sean,
well.
because you watched Titans, Doom Patrol made their debut on the 3rd episode of Titans. I
Right.
think it was number 4, called Doom Patrol. Now, they did
Right.
change the lead actor that played the Chief from into Timothy Dalton. But what do you think of the
I was
difference?
going to ask you about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Doom Patrol the series is far more refined. It's been polished as opposed to their first appearance in Titans, and it's because like, and I did this in reverse. I watched Doom Patrol first, and then picked up Titans afterward, and you can really see the difference. What I liked. I really like Cliff. Cliff is great.
The one played by Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, right? He is great.
Robot
They're
Man.
all great characters.
Robot Man,
but Robot Man, right? And what I like about him is because they start the series off in the pilot episode with his origin story, basically,
With his ass flip
he's
up, as I told Carlos. Kind of flappy,
Yeah, and he's a fucking dick. It's the thing. He's a complete asshole. But the change of his character, his growth, and how quickly they do it too. He becomes very endearing. He's a sweetheart, and he's just he's like the big brother for everyone else, and it's all the performances are very well done. Jane is outstanding. She was on. I knew I recognized the actress that played her. I think I'm drawing a blank now. I looked her up.
I don't
the other
remember
night.
either.
She was on Orange. She was on Orange is the New Black, and she was great on that show.
Oh
too.
yeah, she was whoever, I can't remember.
She was the as they say, presumably Puerto Rican girl from the Bronx. is how they described the character, because they never really stated what her Latino heritage was or her Hispanic heritage was on the show. But she's great in the show, especially considering that she is taking on she's taking on 64 different personalities, and it's kind of like did we see?
I have trouble with just 2.
The producer,
exactly.
in anticipation of what you're about to ask, the producers said they've only covered about I think 12 or something like that of the 52 personalities.
64. I think she's
64. Yeah,
right. But the thing,
even the comics didn't, by the way, cover all.
Come
of them.
on, just add a couple more, and we can call her Hines.
But every person, this is the difference, son. Every personality has superpowers. They're not just another persona. Like, she literally will shift from one to the other, and each one has different superpowers.
Okay, so I'm glad we've all missed my steak sauce joke.
I missed that?
No, I got it. 57. Okay, but the question I was going to ask.
I still don't get it. I'll have to look it up later.
Heinz
You haven't seen
57 steak sauce, George. 57 personalities.
Still don't get it.
57 variety percent. Okay.
If she had 57
There's
personalities,
57
we could
spices.
just call her Heinz.
There's 57 spices in Heinz sauce.
Thanks for over-explaining it, everyone. I was going to look it up on Google later. Anyways, carry on.
Okay.
There you go.
If it helps,
All right.
George, I didn't get it either.
It does help, actually.
Okay. Have you guys seen the movie Split?
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't hear what you said. You cut off.
Did we see the movie Split, which is one of the...
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, those recent... what you call them?
Yeah, her portrayal, the Unbreakable movies. M. Night Shyamalan.
Right.
It's the Unbreakable.
Shamalama.
Okay. Shyamalan Ding Dong. Her portrayal of those different personalities is similar to his portrayal in Split, in that you look at, no matter, despite the fact that it's the same actress playing them, completely take it in that they are that different character, that different personality. Orphan Black, another prime example of an actress being able to pull that off. Where
Oh, that was excellent. Orphan Black
even
is
though
excellent.
Yeah, but there is a difference.
right,
Orphan Black are all clones. She's like literally jumping from
I
one.
got it. I'm talking. I understand that. I've seen the series. What I'm getting at here is
overarching
talking
connectivity.
I'm talking about the way the actress plays the
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
the
That's a
different
good point. I didn't
personnel.
think about that. You're right.
That's my point here, is that she's able to do it in such a manner that each time, without her even saying it, which persona she is. And you don't think that it's just somebody else doing different, type thing. It's all, she's playing a dozen different roles, and she's
And
doing it convincing.
Robot Man is
so-
attaching himself to one of her personalities, Baby Doll, because it reminds him of his daughter.
Of his daughter, right?
Right.
So so I'm enjoying Doom Patrol. But like I said, Titans. I'm in love with Titans. Titans is absolutely amazing. And I'm, like I just said, I just got to finish the episode. Hank and Dawn, and it's by far the best episode of the series so far. And it's you talked about how violent the series was. I remember when you were pitching it to us.
Yeah.
And,
You guys asked me a lot of questions. I remember. Yep.
It's no. I was expecting like murder porn. It's not. It's no harder than anything that's been on Netflix.
It was those first
as
few,
far as the
though.
Marvel
It
series
was
is
pretty
concerned.
violent.
No, it was violent.
Compared to
but
most.
it's not that violent. We're not.
How would it
look,
compare to
even,
say
there's a
Daredevil?
About the same.
on par. Yeah, on par. And it's not. I mean, I was expecting it to be a whole lot bloodier than it is. And so
You're expecting
and it's
Wolfenstein
fine.
levels of
It's not-
bloody.
Well, yeah, honestly, really, I was. It's not. It's in context. It's not gratuitous by any stretch of imagination, and for the purpose of especially establishing Dick Grayson's character, who he is now, 15 years after being adopted by Bruce Wayne and on his own, and the anger inside of him, and the violence inside of him. It's perfectly in context with the character. So yeah, I mean it's violent, but it's not gratuitous. It's all in context. It works very well. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I highly recommend both series to anyone.
Outstanding. And you know what's interesting is Swamp Thing will be coming next, and
Can't wait.
and that will be in the same. Well, at first they said it wasn't, but it is. It turns out it is. They're all connected. I personally am only going to. We're not going to stay on this particular topic for too long, but the thing about the DC streaming universe is, I hate to say this, I am a person who loves and has raved about what the CW has done on the small screen, but I have to say, right out of the gate, and Sean, you probably caught this, all the references that they make on both shows to the characters like the Justice League, they exist in this universe. They're not wasting their time. They know that the fans they are intelligent enough to, they know who the Justice League are. They're not like trying to recreate everything from scratch. So I don't know if you're on the episode where he met Donna Troy yet. I don't remember. I think it was the one before.
Yeah, that's
right. Okay.
it is before.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it was. So did you notice that, for example, when they did the flashback when Dick and Donna were young, that they just went out and said, nope, they're the Justice League's downstairs having a meeting, talking about the Joker. Like, they don't need to rebuild this universe. They know that the audience knows.
No, exactly.
They treat us with intelligence.
It's not just that. What they're doing. They're making a point to say that this is already established. We're not going to need origin stories for the Joker series is about.
Or the Flash, or anybody, or Star Labs, or any of that.
Yeah, right. This is already established, so we're not going to waste our time jumping into that. These are these characters' stories, and how
I have a quick question for either of you.
Yes.
For either of you, is the Swamp Thing based on the Alan Moore take on Swamp Things?
I think so, because
I can't wait.
because the reason I think that's the case, Raul, is the guy that plays Constantine wants in, and from what they've described, they are treating everything they put into this DC universe, this streaming universe, is straight out of the comics. They're not reinterpreting it too much. The only difference being what one minor thing Sean complained about in private chats that you might have missed, which is that this version of Cyborg might be a little shorter than other versions we've seen.
Other
than that, he's a
guy, Sean.
Yeah, but he's a great
minor
character.
quibble.
Him and his father.
Minor quibble. Nice.
Yeah, Sean, talk about your take on that, because we talked about this in the chats.
Yeah, please.
Here's the thing. It was just tough for me to reconcile in the beginning that Cyborg's like 6'6", and this kid's, I looked him up, he's 5'8".
I'm taller than him.
Me too, actually. But he's a great actor, and his father is, who is he again? The character who plays him. He's been on many shows. Sean.
I think you lost Sean.
No, you didn't. My damn phone rotated again. My button moved to the side.
The guy who plays Cyborg's dad is perfect.
Phil Morris. His veteran actor, Phil Morris. I actually met him last year at the Trek convention because he's been on Star Trek 3 times.
He's the head of Star Labs in this show. Head of Star Labs. His role is ironically his roles on Star Trek go all the way back to the original series. He was one of the kids in the episode Miri, if you remember that episode where they. That's first.
That's right. I just saw that episode too.
And he was in Star Trek 3 as a young ensign or something.
He was right. He was a cadet in Star Trek 3 who went up to Kirk and said, "Sir, are they planning a welcoming ceremony for us when we get there?" And Kirk says, "A hero's welcome, son. That's what you want." He goes, "Well, God knows we deserve it." And that's Phil Morris too. But he's also in the Enterprise episode. I forget the name of it, but it's basically the whole episode is done in flashback to the. It's with 7 of 9 on that old Mars ship that was it was a Mars, I don't know, some kind of orbital ship that this guy was on, and during the 21st century, and she's going over his logs. He's the astronaut in that entire episode.
When they're in the belly of that subspace beast.
He also played the Martian Manhunter in Smallville. Just little trivia.
Oh, I didn't know that. The other side of this too, but the reason I had to get his autograph is because because of his role on Seinfeld and I'm talking about so much I'm forgetting what he was. He played the Johnny Cochran analog lawyer for Jerry Seinfeld on Seinfeld, and
that's right, the glove.
Right, exactly. So I got his autograph. I met him over the summer, and a really nice guy. But he's a. Look, I've always said that when it comes to sci-fi and Star Trek and all these shows, I love the character actors that we see. They bring out some of the best performances, and Phil Morris does a great job as Cyborg's dad. Is it Silas Stone? Is that his name? Is that what?
Yeah, that's the dad's
on
name.
the show. Okay.
And on Seinfeld, he was Jackie Childs.
Jackie Childs, of course. Thank you. He's doing great. And like I said, I'm at the point with the kid that plays Cyborg. I don't care how short he is because he's doing. It's not distracting to me anymore. He's done such a great job with the role. And it's kind of like I said, the reverse of this is you have Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine.
I was going to mention
Hugh Jackman's
that,
6'3".
Yeah. He's huge.
Yeah, he's 6'2". Right, and Wolverine's like 5'3" in the comic books, and you don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there gets a point where if an actor is good enough, the traditional way of looking at them becomes. The comics often actually, ironically, will adjust around if the film version is better,
That's true.
Well received, I should say. They'll actually adjust that.
The character of Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury was
become,
first put out in the comic books.
Yeah, and then they end up changing it to where he was. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
The other thing I want to say is about that what I realized is I kind of understand why they didn't go for a 6'6" Hulk, and the reason why is because he's a teenager in this, and he's supposed to be a teenager, and it would be very. I don't think it would work as well.
What
with
I
him
like,
in
Sean,
this group
is
if he was this giant above everyone else.
let me ask you something though. What I love about the way they're handling this DC universe is one thing that we haven't mentioned. In this, the difference between this and the CW is since you started watching Titans after Doom Patrol, you probably haven't thought about this, but I'm probably going to jog your memory. Every character on this show has a history. Like, they've already been through stuff. We're seeing flashbacks of how they got started versus seeing it from the beginning. But we've got, like, for example, Cyborg's already, like, people already know who he is. Like, that one guy that's watching him fix the truck walks up, "Hey, you're Cyborg. Aren't you a Justice League member?" And then you got, like, Nightwing's already got a history with Batman. All these other characters, Donna Troy, you know, everybody has had a history. These are not, like, they're not starting from scratch. What they're doing is the opposite. They're saying these characters exist in this universe, and we're learning about them a little bit in, like, flashback stories and memories and things like that.
Basically, George, I have noticed it, but I've noticed it from the perspective of there's no fucking filler on these shows at all. This is the biggest problem I see with the CW universe right now. And mind you, I have a freaking wall full of Blu-rays full of each season of every CW show, and I have to go back. It's kind of like watching Star Trek from the 90s. How much fucking filler is in there? And there is no filler in these short run series at all. It's great.
That's one of the upsides of short seasons is you have to, hit it out of the park every single episode.
Yep. And they have to, like, they don't take their audience for granted. They give you the benefit of the doubt that if you're watching
they don't treat
this,
us like children,
right? If you're watching this, even if you don't know what's going on, we're gonna give you enough exposition, and then if you don't get it, we'll give you a hint here.
To be honest, George, I felt the CW treated the audience like children.
They had too many episodes to fill it with. That's the problem.
Well,
that's why these shorter seasons for everything is becoming the thing that everybody wants.
I think the DC universe also has, you go into this, they know that people who are watching their shows on their DC universe streaming service already know what they're getting into. So they don't have to waste their time with this bullshit. This is why they're here. They're already fans.
Let's move on.
Already have an idea of these backstories.
Sean, let me just move us on a little bit because we've been on this one subject.
Sure.
I just want to jump up to two different things about this, and then we'll move on to another one. First of all, Titans season 2 is coming. They announced they were going to cast someone as a character called a Ravager, who is
can't wait.
Who is the daughter of Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke. Someone if anybody watches Arrow and things like that.
My favorite character on Arrow.
Okay, so Ravager is the daughter, and she actually, her costume is very similar to his, except it's like a half mask. And Jericho, which is a character who was from Titans also, that is her brother, who is... Carlos, why don't you explain who Jericho is? I don't know if I could explain him as well as you.
Well, Jericho is a deaf mute. He is the son of Terminator, Slade Wilson, and he has a really great superpower, which is if he locks eyes with you, he can possess you. Yeah. He can possess you, your body. And he was created by Marv Wolfman and George Perez in the 80s during the sort of classic.
And he had great Titans. Sideburns.
Yeah, I hated those sideburns even then.
He reminded me of the buddy to the character on That 70s Show. What's the guy's name?
I have no idea, but it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. He looked like him.
Yeah, I mean, he
George,
had really golden curls. Continue. He was great. But an interesting thing about the character of Jericho is that his sexuality has fluctuated through the decades. He was originally conceived by Wolfman and Perez as being gay, but of course they couldn't do that in the 80s because of the comics code at the time. But they started making more hints, and then they backtracked completely and made him fully straight. and I think as of now he's technically bisexual.
So he's Jack Harkness.
Oh well, he's pan. He's omni, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, maybe.
And they've
Everything's on
also
the menu.
they've also come up with this sort of Bluetooth microphone inside his throat that can, amplify his voice, so that now he can talk. Which, I guess I'm okay with that. But what I loved about the original character was that, and I guess maybe only George Perez as an artist could pull this off, because he draws human facial expressions so well.
I love Perez.
That he can communicate a lot, but not a lot of artists are capable of that amount of detail, or it's just not part of their style. So they've resorted to a techno fix to allow him to talk.
And for the
I'm sad about Perez's health lately. It's terrible.
Yeah, he's got diabetes, right? He's like
he's like me. Yes.
Yeah.
But he's out of control. He was out of control during the comic circuit.
His artwork regenerated Wonder Woman's into a lot of his things. Titans, Wonder Woman,
Booster Gold. He did a
Booster Gold. Yeah,
it was beautiful. Booster Gold stuff.
I'm not trying to. Let me ask you guys a question.
Hey, do you guys know they were going to do a Booster Gold series about almost a decade ago that never happened? I was so upset about that.
I heard that, but I didn't know who
Yeah.
was attached to that, Sean. Do you?
They were going to do
Nobody was
Booster
in
Gold
development.
and
It was greenlit
Blue
in
Beetle
development.
as a buddy cop thing.
Yeah. It was
I
a
know
buddy
that-
thing
I-
with Blue
I
Beetle.
know nothing about that. I didn't know that side of it, but okay.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
They had that planned.
Blue
Booster
Beetle's
Gold
a
is one of my
hilarious
favorite characters.
character.
Well, Booster Gold is one of my favorite characters of all time. I put him
Booster
in
Gold
I
my
always
back-
thought he was a
Tony
little
Stark
silly, but,
given
Yeah,
no controls. Basically,
Yeah.
if for the audience that doesn't know, that's the personality.
He was
of
on
Booster Gold.
Smallville for the first time as a live action. Yeah, there's so much I could say about Booster Gold. I put him in my Bat Radio show. He's a great character, but he was on Smallville live action only one time, first time, and he's also the father of Legends of Tomorrow's character Rip Hunter.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we always hoped, and
Oh.
they could still make that happen because he is his father. So
And he's from the future, so it's great.
yeah,
It's like
he's from the 25th century. But
Rip,
being part of the
I am
time
your
traveling
father.
thing.
Yeah,
there.
basically something like that. It'll be
The
hilarious
Time Masters, the whole.
because the characters are ridiculous. Rick and Booster are absolutely ridiculous characters.
They are, but people love them.
Oh,
And
I love them. Don't get me wrong.
not me, DJ Harumph.
You're just a grumpy old man, Carlos.
I mean-
I am. No, I've always felt this way about Booster Gold, and when he first appeared, I was a much younger grumpy man, I guess.
How much younger though? You were still old.
But
man.
here-
Not
here's
that
the-
much younger.
I was in my
He's from-
20s.
He's a time traveler.
I'm not gonna go there.
It's relevant.
It was so easy. It's so easy, son.
It's
a
Booster
target-rich
Gold.
environment.
All right, look.
It's not even that it's a target-rich environment. It's
Okay.
just mean.
Anybody that wants to see a good representation of Booster Gold, I almost called him Booger Gold.
Boober,
No, I almost called him Booger.
Goober Gold.
Is the Smallville episode he was in, which I thought was
He
pretty
was
good.
good in the Smallville episode. I like.
Yeah, I just wish Skeets had been actually a floaty little droid instead of a AI
Yeah.
like built into his suit or whatever. But
Yeah,
anyways,
it would have been fun, but
I did like Skeets.
well, that's
Skeets is better.
that
as a
doesn't
little
make you
robot.
cool.
Yeah, I know, right?
Booster's the cool guy.
He is so
Booster
not cool.
Gold.
He's a buffoon.
Oh,
That's what I
yeah,
love
that's what's
about
what
him.
he was like Jamie Lannister if he
No,
was
he's-
like in the
He's
future.
definitely like
Nothing
Tony
like
Stark.
Jamie
He's
Lannister.
definitely like Tony Stark.
He
getting-
I don't
looks like
like
Jamie
Doctor
Lannister.
Who, but I like K9.
Booster's actually cooler than K9. I'm sorry. I mean,
No,
not Booster.
I don't
Skeets. Skeets.
Skeets. That's
Skeets,
hard.
yeah.
Mitzelplicht is cooler than both of them.
Okay, let's not get too off track here. We're derailing
Okay, right. Before we
big
leave
time.
the topic of Titans and Jericho, the person
Stargirl. I want
whom-
to talk about Stargirl. Go ahead.
yeah, the person whom they've cast to play Jericho is a deaf transgender actor from New York.
Really?
And he's got a huge YouTube following, and like he has like 173,000 subscribers and 2.5 million views, and Yeah, so
That's
it's a landmark casting. I'm looking forward to seeing this go
Who's
down.
I'm sorry. Who's the actor? I'm sorry.
His name is Chella Man.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that.
What a name! Yeah.
He's
yeah, that's the same reaction I had, Sean, when I heard the name.
Yeah, I know it's a bit on the nose. I admit.
Was it? Wait. Is it man with one or two N's? That's the difference.
It's one N.
Ah.
I know it's
If it was
a
two
bit on
N's,
the nose.
I would have been
but-
like,
My thing. Here's the thing. It's like anytime somebody says this huge YouTube star, and then they name, I'm like, and I feel like an old man because like I don't know who the fuck they are. I feel terrible.
We are
It's
old
like,
men, though.
they'll have like
Sean, even Justin Bieber had to start off on YouTube.
Yeah, but see
But
here.
we are
but
old
here's the
men.
thing.
But wait a minute.
Do you guys know who?
What?
You have to remember.
Let Sean talk.
Hang on, he got cut off, son. So hold on.
Well, yeah, I was thinking. You guys ever heard of You ever heard of James Charles? Ever heard of him?
No.
I know the name. I can't place it where.
Yeah, exactly. I only know it because I watched Philip DeFranco. Okay,
I do too, but I don't remember. Go ahead.
But James Charles is like this huge YouTuber, like millions and millions. His whole show is makeup tips, and he's got like millions.
Oh,
and
I
millions
know
of
that
followers.
guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
It's like, and he's got like his lowest like viewed videos have like 9 million fucking views. It's like I never heard of this guy, but there's like so many guys.
Well, you know, you don't wear makeup.
Huge YouTubers.
He's
true,
the first male ambassador for CoverGirl.
All right, I know.
I don't watch the Kardashians either, but I know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, but we can't get away from the Kardashians.
That's my thing is not as good as yours, but my thing is that
Garrick is my favorite Kardashian.
Who's that?
Garrick is my favorite Kardashian.
I'm a Kim fan. Right. I don't care what anybody thinks of me.
Garrick needs his own.
Hate me now,
YouTube
people.
Channel. But no,
he needs his own channel.
There are so many monster YouTubers out there that are just huge that it's like, how do I not know about them? You know, this happens all the time. It's an
alternative. It's an alternative media, though, Sean. It has its own stars, and you know, unless you're into the particular subgenre they're representing, which, by the way, mainstream media has not covered. That's why there are millions of hits.
Let's move on a little bit. I mean, Raul, finish your thought. I'm sorry. Because I just want to move on a little because of time. That's all.
Yeah, that's fine. But this is important.
Yep.
So even though we don't see it, it still is relevant for sure. I think.
Yeah, I think your observation about mainstream media covering it's like mainstream media does not want to cover internet celebrities at all.
In fact, quite the opposite. They rail on internet anything every chance they get.
There's a reason why they don't.
Yep.
They don't, because they don't have agents that rein them in, and so sometimes they like endorse them.
It's not even that.
No. Listen, you have people like I can't remember his name. The guy that went to the forest with the Japanese and the guy hung himself.
Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan. They don't have agents. They're self-controlled. And then all these whenever these big outlets endorse them, then what ends up happening is they get embarrassed because they go, "Oh shit, did we make a mistake?" Because they're not like having anybody edit them. They're not. Nobody's like being their editors and saying, "Oh, you shouldn't post that," because you know what I mean. They're self-endorsing themselves.
I think what the issue is with the way the mainstream media
they're like loose cannons
approaches. Well, no, I got that, but I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue for the mainstream media and the entertainment industry in general, when it comes to YouTube celebrities, is they feel like they're cashing in, haven't done the work that and they're not professionals, and that yet they're able to cash in, and it's kind of like there's almost an animosity towards the people who just start recording themselves on YouTube.
Well, that's what I mean. They don't have an agency that will try to tell them.
I know that, but
you're talking.
That's not my. I'm talking about. You're talking about that they don't have anyone.
They don't have a no person. You know what I mean? Like they don't have a no person.
But that's not my point.
That's not the point.
My point is that they're gaining fame for basically being famous, and the mainstream entertainment industry doesn't seem to like that. Is how I view
Well,
that.
Sean, I also think that, to be
So.
honest, I think the competition, the rivalry, is because there's a competition for eyes. You know, movies compete with TV,
Yep.
TV competes with
Exactly.
comics, comics compete with books, books compete with soap operas. I mean, it's just
Yep.
it's just a competition for eyes. So obviously, a newcomer, especially somebody that is as uncontrolled as George says, it's definitely a threat. And they're going to deal with it just like that.
It makes them nervous because
But it's
they
not
endorse
just-
them, and then all of a
Go
sudden
ahead, son.
they pull
wait,
this
wait,
crap.
George, son has a
But
point. Let her-
it's not. See, here's the big thing. You guys are focusing all on the entertainment aspect, and it's not just entertainment either. Because this shit happens to Philip DeFranco and people like Tim Pool, who do news more than anything else,
Right.
And usually do better fact checking than the mainstream media,
Right,
and
exactly.
they get shit on
Yep.
by the mainstream media.
Right, he's
Yep,
not. He's
that's true.
uncensored. It's basically what
True.
it is. He does it himself. He edits his own stuff. He doesn't have anybody that, like, from what I've gathered,
or
he
they have
doesn't-
small teams. The difference is
Philip
they do.
DeFranco.
No, Phil
has a
does.
team.
I'm talking about Logan Paul.
Logan
Well,
Paul has a team.
We're not
He
not
has a
talking,
team.
Yeah,
Does he?
we're-
All right.
we're-
Yep.
The big YouTube stars, George, have a small team with them. They have to.
Some of
to put
them.
out that much content. No, a lot of
big
them,
ones.
George.
No, the
Yeah,
big
they
ones-
probably do,
The
actually,
big ones,
probably
they
right.
have to. They actually have to.
I know
For the
PewDiePie
production.
probably does.
PewDiePie
Yeah,
has
they-
one.
they-
PewDiePie, yeah,
Jacksepticeye
that's
has
right.
a team because he has his own separate editors for his episode. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
you're
have
right.
teams.
Yeah,
they
I
have
agree.
their own mechanisms.
All right, let's
They-
move
they-
on a
they're
little
not-
bit. I just want to cover
Yeah,
one more topic.
I want to know. I want to go. Since we were talking about the DC stuff, let's talk about the renewals that are coming up. Have we touched those yet? On those yet? Or
Actually, I just
not
want to
the
cover
renewals, but the air date
there are renewals,
for
but
season 2 of Titans.
Titans is coming back. But I want to actually
in the fall. So that's pretty soon, actually.
yes.
Yay.
Has anybody seen the first look at Stargirl? I glossed over this earlier. Stargirl is a show who is a member of the Justice Society. She's getting her own show. They released a sneak peek, a picture of her. She's been on Smallville. She's been in the CW Legends of Tomorrow in an episode called The Justice Society of America. And she's getting her own television show on the DC streaming universe. Has any...
They released a centerfold of her is what they did.
They did what?
Ba 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 ba
They-
ba boom.
Yeah, they released a centerfold of her is what they did. It really
Kinda.
doesn't tell me anything. I mean, it's a gorgeous picture, but I mean,
Based on their track record so far, though, I'm excited. I'm really
get that.
curious.
This is going to be a CW show, you said?
No, it's a DC Universe streaming show.
DC Universe. Okay, well, yeah,
Right, so
I
it'll be
get
crossover
that.
with Titans and Doom Patrol and Swamp
That'll be
Thing.
fun. I'm sure it'll be great. It's just like, that's the first picture we get. Okay.
I know, it's like not a lot to say.
Hey,
I mean,
Sean sex sells, as we say.
No,
you
but
know?
I mean, fat. I mean, that's. I mean, that's what that picture is saying.
yeah,
you
I
know?
know. I'm just like saying, like, I'm a
Why
fan
why
of
do
the
you think
character in
George
the
is
show.
so excited, Sean?
No,
I
that's
know.
not that. No, because traditionally the character is a teenage girl. So for me to say anything else would be slanderous. You guys would be
She's
putting me in a.
not. I thought
Well,
she
the
was
character
a
in this
girl
version
based on
might
that
be
photo.
older, but in the comics she's like 15. Her name's
Well,
Courtney.
she looks kind of young in that.
There's actually a
teaser
true
photo,
story behind
but-
this. The character was based
Emphasis
off
on
the
teaser.
guy that created the character created her based off a sister of his that died in an airplane crash. So
Oh,
Oh,
God.
that's sad. Thank you. Now,
Yeah, that's very
now
sad.
we're all sad.
yeah, he.
Fuck you,
Thanks, George.
In fact, I think it was the 9/11.
A little knowledge is a little much.
No, I remember now. It was the 9/11 situation. His
Oh my God.
Oh,
sister,
what the fuck?
his little sister was on.
Wait, no, whoa, stop.
I'm
Just
serious.
stop talking. Just stop talking. You're only making it worse, George.
I'm just letting you know that's actually a true story.
Okay, okay,
I-
but don't ruin the, I anticipate this with the holy shit, this is heavy.
Yeah, but as I was
God.
saying, I remembered that was why it was so heartbreaking because the artist and the writer it based the character. She was meant to be a teenager because he based it off his little sister who died on one of the planes. So,
oh my god, God, how gruesome!
So I'm just letting you know, like this character is
But-
like it's
but
important to a lot of people for different
check
reasons.
out her ass.
Well, maybe this actress. Let's
settle down there, people.
Yeah,
Well,
Sean.
I mean, my point is, I'm just making my point.
It was
about this,
you're right. They picked a good-looking female.
They certainly they sexed up that photo quite a bit.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, it's kind of like when people the memes about the
Avengers
I
agree. They did.
posters and how you get all the front shots of all the guys and all you see is Scarlett Johansson's ass. I mean, that type of thing. I mean, that's kind of
I know. I know exactly what you're saying, but
the reverse poster they made is hilarious with like the Hulk's ass all shiny.
It's so fucking
great,
brilliant.
So awesome.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's move on a little bit to. I would talk about the Marvel. Yeah, all right, we can. Marvel stuff. MCU. Forbes did an article. Carlos, why don't you take the lead on this one?
Well, it starts off because of the fact that that Captain Marvel is about to become a $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
And it also marks sort of a new generation of Marvel cinematic heroes as we move away from the originals, Captain America and Iron Man.
Yeah.
And from a business perspective, there's a whole question about how well is this, what some might consider the B team of Marvel going to do money-wise, in propping up the whole franchise going into this next phase of the cinematic universe. The point of this article is that the future actually looks pretty good because Black Panther, not a huge part of the Marvel constellation, did amazing numbers both domestically and especially overseas. Same with Captain Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxies. Well, he's a kind of a bigger person, but he's definitely in the next phase.
But he's not part of the originals, is what I'm saying. He
Right.
still has a 3-movie deal with them for his own series.
Well, my perspective on this is that who the hell ever thought that the first Iron Man really the genesis of this whole MCU? Yeah, I know the first Hulk was technically the movie.
Yeah, no, actually, the second Hulk was. That's considered canon.
No, I know. I'm not talking about the Ed Norton one. Was not. It was the one.
No,
after
that is the canon MCU one.
They
not the first one.
Okay.
The Yang Lee.
Moving on, people.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, right. Okay. The second Hulk. Right.
Ed Norton's.
Your point is really about
Ed
Iron
Norton's
Man.
Hulk. Yes, it is, and because that's what really launched the MCU. And who in the hell would ever have expected that movie to do as well as it did? And then subsequently, what do we get after that? Do we get Thor? Or do we get Captain America after that? What do we get? I can't remember.
Captain America and then Thor.
Well, okay.
And
so
Kenneth Branagh did the first
Both?
Thor movie, by the way. He was the director and head of that series. That's why it turned out so well and so epic.
Okay. And, here's the thing. And the thing about the first Thor movie, it's not even that good, okay? But it's all right. It's enjoyable, but I think the expectation from audiences for after that first Iron Man movie, it just set the standard for this. And that at the end of the day, the guys in charge of the MCU know how to make fucking entertaining movies out of characters that are, a bit B squad. I know Iron Man and Captain America and the Avengers are big Marvel, but when you think of Marvel, you think of Spider-Man, you think of X-Men.
They took the same kind of risk when they made Guardians, even more so later.
Of course, this is my point. The MCU guys, they can really kind of do no wrong at this point as far as making money off the property. So I'm not concerned about what characters they throw at us next. I'm sure it's going to be just as enjoyable for audiences. I'm big risk, but not really. These guys know what they're doing. They've got, we're talking over a decade of experience in making this monsterly, this monster of a franchise just explode. So,
well, can we talk
I'm
for a
not worried at
moment
all.
about the influence of Josh Whedon on the Avengers itself? He's an expert. He was literally established himself with Buffy as an expert coterie developer. And then they give him the hardest task in the world. Take these monster characters, put them together, and make them all shine. And he did, which is
Yep.
why the Marvel Universe is
No
as
one
good
will
as
ever
it
be able
is.
to take that away from him, no matter
No.
what happened later. Seriously, you're right, Raul. Absolutely.
What happened later? What are you
Well, he
talking
got. He parted ways with them for behind the scenes. Whatever happened, but after number 2, he was burnt. He did not like working with them, making a lot of demands on his vision. And I don't mean that as a joke, because they introduced Vision, but although it is kind of funny, I know. But no, he had a hard time. There was a lot of weight that was put on his shoulders because he did so good with number 1. He set a new standard when it comes to. He set the bar when it comes to how you do
Didn't
a superhero group movie.
Joss Whedon was right? He did. Did Joss Whedon came in Justice League? Did he not?
No.
Yeah,
He was
very
able.
late, but-
Didn't
Well, yeah,
Yes,
you're right. He did. He was asked to reshoot and practically redo Zach's
right.
mess, so to speak.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like you can see in that movie, you can tell where Zack Snyder leaves off and Joss Whedon picks up. It's very clear.
Yeah,
in that movie.
it's literally the good and the bad of the movie. I mean, seriously.
That's it. This is why I have such mixed reactions to that movie. It's because it's a mixed bag.
I think the audience was confused, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was a problem. You had two different. I hate saying it. Two different visions in that movie is the problem. And there was Joss Whedon and the Zack Snyder vision. And Joss Whedon is fantastic at creating and developing these universes. And and after when we got to the point we got our first Avengers film, and who in their right mind really thought the Avengers film was going to be it's just
the monster hit it became,
yeah, the juggernaut. No one expected that. And it just took, that's really when it really took off. So yeah, I mean, look, these guys know what they're doing. Say what you want about Disney.
They have credibility at this point, especially now.
They're fucking A.
Well, they don't seem, even their worst movie seems like a great movie to me. You know what I mean? Like the worst movie might be Thor 2, and that's still super entertaining. By the way,
I agree.
I like Thor 2.
Marvel is the pizza of the movie franchise.
No, they're actually the
even the bad pizza still pizza, so it's still pretty good.
It's still pizza, man. Yeah, it's hard to argue with that at all.
I mean, and everybody's seen the Ant-Man movies, right? And seen how they developed that universe is amazing. It's amazing what they can do.
With what universe?
Right,
the Ant-Man property.
I like both of them.
And who the hell expected that to be? You know what?
Who said? Which coke-filled executive said, "You know what we should do, guys? Ant-Man," and they were like, "Oh yeah."
Well, when they did Guardians of the Galaxy 1, everybody was nervous because they were like, "You're grabbing this property of all things to make into a movie."
Right.
Nobody's even heard of these guys. I mean, I knew who they were, but it was like they picked one of the most least noticeable properties in the entire comic things.
Obscure
and they said,
right.
and they saw James Gunn. And this is why I'm glad that they brought James back. I mean, whatever
his vision is incredible. Is incredible.
Yeah, I mean they did a good job. Moving on slightly. Okay, we've talked about superhero stuff for quite a while now. Let's talk about Star Wars a tiny bit. There's a lot going on in the Star Wars universe. First of all, and Raul, I'm gonna lead with you a little bit. I mean,
sure.
We're talking. We know that they're going to do we know next month, this month actually, starting tomorrow. They're going to in about a week and a half, something like that. They're going to do celebrations, and if I recall, they always reveal if there's a new movie coming out and it's celebrations. They always premiere it at celebrations.
My
Always.
guess, George,
Yeah.
my guess, George, is a 10-minute trailer for it.
No,
give
6
them-
minutes. It's gonna be a teaser.
6
first.
minutes? 6 minutes? Or
6
I would
minutes.
say 10 minutes.
Well,
I would say 10
no.
minutes.
Well,
Oh,
here's the
it
thing.
doesn't matter. Either way, we're gonna
the
get something. We're gonna get something.
Celebration.
Not just that,
is
but
predictable.
we're gonna get the Mandalorian. Go ahead, Sean. What are you gonna say?
The Celebration, as far as Star Wars trailers are concerned, is about as predictable as an Apple event announcing a new iPhone. I mean,
Yeah, pretty
you know
much.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
you know. So, of course, that's what we're going to get, and you're going to get. Of course, we're going to see our first peek at the Mandalorian too, and
Can't
of course,
wait for that.
Carlos has some news about the Mandalorian as well.
Yeah, Carlos, what would you like to tell us about that?
Well, just that it's already been approved for a second season without even having
The whole
aired.
first season.
Carlos,
yeah, the first whole season's out. I mean, sorry, it's been filmed, which means I predict that the trailer will be there next month.
Carlos, did they say this on initial audience reactions to the Mandalorian?
I don't believe so. I think
wow.
it's just based on the strength of the first season.
Oh wow, great.
I have a question, Carlo.
Yeah.
Have they said who's been cast as Luke Skywalker yet? I'm asking for a friend.
Didn't we have this discussion about
I should
2
I
months
should
ago
test
or something?
I should test my new TeamSpeak powers on Sun right now. No,
Yeah,
just kidding.
See, I'm never gonna let him. I'm never gonna let this go.
I have so many powers I could use.
Did I miss what?
I think
Yeah,
he just
I'm-
exercised his
what
power.
Did I miss? There's an inside joke here I
confused.
miss.
Yeah, it's way inside.
George has gone on this rant multiple times that the Mandalorian will have Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. in it.
No,
Oh my
not Mark
God.
Hamill. I did not say Mark Hamill. That would be way wrong on the casting. A lot of people think that Sebastian Stan, who plays Bucky in the MCU, everybody wants him as.
Big point is that they're going to put Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian. That's George's big thing.
No, they will.
Okay, so
My
here's
point
the thing.
was nope.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Yeah. So here's the thing. When
Not
did
season
Star Wars
1.
Fans
I
become,
agree.
Go ahead, Sean. Everybody.
When did Star Wars fans become Star Trek fans, trying to shoehorn every old character
It's
into
not
a
a
new series?
shoehorn.
Always.
It would be a shoehorn, and the problem is that
okay,
it would be a
okay.
distraction. And I
He's
think
the
I
only
said this to you
lightsaber that could
months
flash
ago.
with any credibility in this time frame.
No.
What?
It takes
Why?
away from the Mandalorian. It takes
Because
away
it's
from
the
the
time
Exactly.
period. He's like
No.
the only Jedi.
Okay. Here's the thing.
And people
I
like
wanna-
Jedis.
The whole point of the Mandalorians is they're fucking bounty hunters, George.
No,
What
they're
is
not. That's actually, son, if you
Jedi
watch
have to do with
Rebels.
the Mandalorian?
No. If you watch Rebels, you would know that's not true. The Mandalorian culture is not about
Who
being
said
bounty
that
hunters.
who said this had to follow the Rebels?
Rebels is complete canon, and if you were a true fan,
Okay.
you'd understand that.
But why? But
I've never,
why?
I never
no,
claimed to be a true fan.
Well, then, shh.
Warning. We have a gatekeeper warning. Warning. Holy cow, George!
I'm a
you said
gatekeeper
that.
when it
But
comes to Star
because-
Wars. Sorry.
Why? But why? I mean, here's the thing.
There's no-
Because because Rebels and Clone Wars are complete canon, and you guys,
Yes.
it may be animated.
It doesn't matter, you guys.
But
It has
what
nothing
does
to
it-
do with the topic at hand, which is
Yeah, the
It
topic
kinda
is
does.
Mandalorian.
it would be a mistake for Luke Skywalker to appear in the Mandalorian.
Absolutely.
Why
That's
do
an
you
opinion.
assume that
Complete
there's gonna be
distraction.
any lights-
I didn't
Why
say
do you think
season
there's
one.
gonna be any
I agree with you.
lightsabers
It won't
at
be
all?
right. It wouldn't be right for season one. You got to set up the
Oh.
characters and do their own
It's a-
thing.
I think there'll be other Jedi, but I don't think there'll be
No.
a Luke reference.
Okay.
We'll
Because
talk about
that-
this on the
When
Star
does
Wars
the
show.
Mandalorian? When does the Mandalorian take place?
5
Okay, do
years
we know-
after
do we have
Return
time
of the
frame that?
Jedi. 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Okay. So when there were literally
5
no
years
Jedi.
after Luke,
Okay,
the last
great.
of the Jedi, killed his father Darth Vader and did all that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's other
Okay, so there are no
Jedi
Jedis.
scattered around the universe.
No, you don't know that. They don't.
Okay.
You don't know what they're going to take as canon, Carl. Raul. Sorry, I did again. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So, but why are we assuming that there's going to be any lightsabers at all? Okay.
Exactly.
This is
Not for the first season,
I
but
have never
people like
understood-
lightsabers.
Okay. But fuck people and their like of lightsabers. Seriously.
We'll see what the ratings
The
suggest.
lightsaber.
It's about a warrior
you're
culture.
telling me you think
I think
It's
the
about
fact that
warrior.
they've greenlit a second season means that they're happy with.
With the current.
I think when you're
So-
going to find that when they greenlit the second season, they were asking Sebastian Stan, "Hey, do you want to be Luke?" That's my opinion.
No.
Dude,
No,
why do you expect so much fan service? I don't understand this.
It's not fan service.
it's total fan service.
When it comes to
it's
certain
about the
things,
premiere.
they want what
wait,
they want.
Wait. George, let me
Let me explain.
Sean. I'm sorry.
I hear George over there going.
No, what you're hearing is.
Do you know what? Do you know what the best use of a lightsaber was in the franchise? I will tell you what the best use of it was.
Melting a
It
fucking
was
door.
No, absolutely not. This is the whole point. The best use of a lightsaber in the entire series was that the fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, that lasts all about 90 seconds, and it is pretty much the only
That's
time.
your
Other than the
opinion.
fact,
Do you know what the fans want? They want lightsabers.
It's not like your fans are fucking stupid.
I'd like
That's
to
what
hear
it comes
his
down to,
entire
because-
opinion first.
All right.
Right.
Can I
It's
say something?
such an it's
Let's
an
let
over-
Sean
it's-
finish, and then
the
you can go.
lightsaber. The lightsaber is the type of thing that you use in small doses, and this is where the entire prequel trilogy failed. When everybody's fucking flinging them around all over the place, it was a mystical weapon. It was something. It was almost a MacGuffin in and of itself. Okay, you don't when they abuse it, when you get too much of it, and when you're just putting it in there for
I
fan
get
waves,
that, but you do realize that Rogue One would not have made nearly as much money if Darth Vader's scene was not there.
It wasn't integral to the
Star
story.
Wars movie.
It wasn't integral to the story. It wasn't integral to the story.
It had nothing to do with it. So people went. You're telling me that all the people that went to see Rogue One heard about the Darth Vader scene?
Yes,
"Oh, I
they
gotta go
did
fucking see
actually.
that." No, I don't.
I knew about
No,
that
they
before I
didn't.
went and saw it. Yes,
No
they did.
way.
I didn't.
So that's why
Well, you stayed away from the internet.
Yeah,
Yes.
No, I knew about Darth Vader. I knew Darth Vader was in it, but what came to mind? It didn't come to mind to me. Ooh, lightsabers! I gotta go see this. Fuck that! Nobody cares about little kids.
Yes,
care about
they do,
lightsabers.
Sean. I'm sorry. When it comes to Star Wars, you're wrong. I'm sorry.
But this shit.
George, you have no
It's like
data
an
to
adult
back that
fighting
up.
with the 4-year-old.
It's true. It's like you can't just say neener, 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 George. That's basically the argument.
Wait, can I get back to the topic for 1 second, guys? I
Yeah,
have
go ahead,
something to say.
Raul. Because
The
if you're-
Mandalorian.
Wait a minute, Raul. I'll let you talk if you're pro. Are you pro or
I am
against
not. I am
lightsaber?
neither. I am neither.
Oh, you're neutral.
The point-
You need
No,
to be
I'm
either
not
dark
neutral.
or light
I'm not
side.
neutral. I'm on the side of the Mandalorians.
Ah.
The Mandalorians is the premier warrior culture of Star Wars. This show will show that. This show will show a defeated warrior rising up from basically the bowels of his existence.
The bowels. That's funny you said that.
It's true. It's true. And literally, factually, in Jedi, he is in the bowels of something. So the truth is, I think there will be Jedi, like rogue Jedi influences, but I don't think they'll be famous. I think that there'll be people that they'll create as oppositional characters for the Mandalorian to overcome.
I
That's
don't
my
think.
opinion.
I don't predict Luke will be in the first season. I agree with you guys on that part. It doesn't need Luke, but the reason I predict they will add Luke is because the fans. I'm sorry, you guys keep ragging about fan service. Sometimes fan service is not a bad thing.
Okay. Here's my question.
That's my
George.
position about that.
Here's my question, George. How many Star Trek fans have said this exact same bullshit about Discovery?
Yup.
Gotta add this thing, or they gotta add that thing, or
And when they did, look what happened. It made it better.
Or it can't be real Trek. It can't be real Trek.
And they found a reason to bring in Spock and Pike, didn't they? And everybody could argue, oh, that was if you had been a year before that. If I had said because of the time period, they should add Pike, and Carlos would have said, no, they're not going to do that because it would just be fan service. But they found a reason story-wise and narratively to do that.
Okay,
I mean,
first of all,
yeah.
there's a
Go
big
ahead.
difference between a cameo of someone like that and making them an actual integral part of the entire season story
Which is
arc.
what I'm
Those are
talking
two completely different things.
I'm saying they're going to find that reason. I'm not saying that.
And I don't think they will,
shoehorn
because
it.
it's a totally different story. Luke
We don't know
Skywalker's
what the
story is totally different.
But we don't know
Luke
what this
falls,
story is. They haven't told us
George.
enough yet.
Luke falls, George. There's books on this that are official.
We don't know
canon
what
now.
they consider canon, though.
Not anymore.
Raoul.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's
They
considered legends.
decanonized those
It's-
books.
Yeah,
No.
Carlos is right.
They've gone and actually made new books that
There's
are
new
canon
books.
now.
I read one called Falling Star. Which
Oh,
takes
yeah, that
place
is true. They did make new.
After the events of Jedi, and Luke is in it as a short cameo, and he's not the blazing lightsaber.
I'm
hero
not saying that.
people want
All
that.
I'm saying
No,
is
no.
that they're going to
Let
find
him
a
finish,
reason.
George. Let him finish.
Go ahead.
My point is that Luke is on a journey, which you see in the Last Jedi. He that's the end point of his journey. That's his Ben stage. When we see Ben Kenobi in A New Hope, and so when he gets to that stage, he's on the journey to that stage, to that point, that neutrality, that halfway point between good and evil, light and dark. That's his journey. Why would the Mandalorian have anything to do with that journey?
We don't know. We don't know the actual. They haven't actually outlined exactly what this story is
But that
about.
would take away from
But
Boba. That's what I'm trying to get to you. That would take away
You're
from
assuming.
Boba and
Hold
the
on. You're assuming that because it is a Mandalorian that we know what the story means. No, we don't.
But we know what it
It's
doesn't
about
mean.
the culture, George. That's the warrior
We know what it
culture
doesn't
of-
mean.
of-
You know what this
It's
is?
called The
This is
Mandalorian. I know
equivalent
it's
of-
about Mandalorians.
Right. Yeah.
I agree with
This
you
is
there.
the
Obviously,
equivalent of. Okay. This is the equivalent of if Star Trek decided to do what I hope they'll never do, and that is create a Klingon series. Okay.
good example.
Yeah, I don't.
I totally agree with you on that.
I would not expect an entire subplot that includes Captain Riker and the Titan for the entire thing, because it's not about the fucking Federation. It would be about the Klingons. The same
I
way
get
this is
what
about
you're
the
saying on
Mandalorian.
that regard.
It doesn't make sense to me when they've got two sets of trilogy films dedicated that are called literally the Skywalker trilogies. Okay, I cannot understand why. I do not see at all why they would shoehorn
There's a reason why.
into
I'll
a
tell you.
series dedicated to a Mandalorian.
No.
Go on.
Here's my prediction. Okay, it's not about shifting the focus of the show, because I think that's what you guys are ultimately talking about. You want to call it, I'm doing air quotes, you want to call it fan service. Let's call it shifting the focus. I don't think it would be shifting the focus to allow for a small subplot to be about how you introduce a way to bring Luke in, because the Mandalorian could be going after Luke. We don't know. The point is that they could use Luke to, and yes, it makes fans happy, and you can call it fan service. I mean, you can name it whatever you want, but I think they'll do it because it will make the ratings go up on the show. So if you want to say they're not going to do fan service,
on ratings. This is a Disney.
I'm not saying it's going to depend on it. I'm saying it's going to. It's if they can find a reason, plot-wise, to make not a shift focus, but a shift for one arc for where it might work out, that they can work him in. I think you'll find that people are very interested in what happened in this 5-year after Return of the Jedi with Luke before he, as he's building the Jedi Order and doing whatever, up until the Force Awakens.
But that's not what this show is.
It does. We don't know what the show is. We are assuming.
Yes, we do, George.
We know
We
it's
don't.
the Mandalorian. It's the
You don't get it.
Mandalorian.
I'm saying to you that them.
George, you have no data to back this up. Okay,
I don't.
That's what it comes
but
down
I
to.
know I have a prediction.
I understand that it's your fervent belief. I get that.
It's
but you
gonna
have
happen.
no data for this.
I don't need data.
We do have data about what the premise of this show is, and it's not about diving into the Skywalker saga.
They're not going to not take advantage like they didn't not take advantage of Pike in current season of
Different
Discovery.
showrunners, George.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
They're not going to take advantage of. Let's do a show 5 years after the Return of the Jedi, but we're never going to have Luke Skywalker show up and do stuff? No friggin' way, guys. No, I'm sorry.
The huge difference between Discovery is Discovery is a show set on a Starfleet vessel that's part of the United Federation of
Disney
Planets.
loves their fans. They want people to be happy.
They don't give a shit about their fans.
Yes, they do.
No, are you serious? They do not.
Well, when it comes to Star Wars,
they give a shit about their fans so insofar as they can milk them for money. Maybe
that's right. It has nothing. They're not gonna. Their creative choices have nothing
Luke's gonna be in the show
with fan opinion.
That's my opinion. And when I'm right in a year, you guys are gonna go. Sean's gonna go.
What happens if you're wrong, George?
Look, here's the thing. They're not. We've already established that they know what to do. Disney knows what to do with their monster franchise in order to make them good. Shoehorning Luke Skywalker would not.
It wouldn't be a shoehorn. If they do it right, it wouldn't be a shoehorn.
Yes, it would.
It would always be
because this.
Nope. Not if they actually plot it out.
Okay, we're basically just repeating ourselves.
Yeah, we are.
We have established that George predicts that Luke Skywalker will appear, and
I'm gonna
believe that's a bunch of hooey. So in about a year, we will find out who's right. Right.
Right.
And when I'm right, we're gonna go back.
And what happens when you're wrong, George?
When I'm right,
that's
Raul,
not realistic.
You're gonna say.
I'm not. I'm going to argue with you on the personal show that we do about Star Wars too. This is not just because Sean is taking.
I have to pick the right special guest for that one, just to make sure they match my opinion.
Far more sense.
We need to beat you up.
It would make far more sense for them to dedicate a separate series to that than to squeeze it in to this.
They're not going to squeeze it in. They can write a reason for it to happen.
You know what's actually more plausible as a subplot for The Mandalorian? You know what is actually more plausible for a subplot to The Mandalorian?
Ugnaughts fighting Ewoks?
For Boba Fett to go after fucking Han.
Yeah, it really
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
He'll be in it too. Nobody's arguing like, hey, will Han or Leia show up on the show? Everybody's going, Luke won't be in it. Luke won't be in it because he's a Jedi.
No,
you know what?
It's because he's too big of a character.
Why am I using that voice? That was kind of weird.
Destroy. Can I speak?
No.
He's too big of a character to be in it and then still call it The Mandalorian. It has to be called The Mandalorian and Luke.
Season 2. That's what I'm saying, dude.
Wrong.
I didn't say season 1.
No data. You have no data for that. Okay.
I don't need data,
folks, because
let's move on.
We have already all said what we think.
Let's talk. Speaking of Mark Hamill, he's going to voice Chucky, and Son has been like, "What? What do you guys think of that? He's going to voice the new Chucky, Mark Hamill."
I think it's great. It will be actually an entertaining Chucky.
How many years did he voice the Joker?
I mean,
he was great as the Joker.
He's a great voice actor.
Right, exactly. Do the voice, and this is an easy call, right?
So I have no problem with it. Anybody have a problem with it, Carlos?
Plus, he was like a villain in what, 2 episodes of The Flash?
He does video games too, guys. By the way, I play a game called Smite, where he's literally a character called Loki, where he does the Joker voice. It's great.
Oh, wait a minute! This just in. I just got an article up here. It says that Luke Skywalker will definitely be appearing in the latest Child's Play movie. Right in black and white for all of them.
Wow. I want to know.
I don't care about Chucky, sense, so right? I'm glad Mark Hamill's getting work.
You don't care about Chucky? Seriously?
Nope, I hate it.
I was never
You didn't like that scene where she rips the back of his battery and he's got no batteries in his back, and she shakes him and he goes, and he basically swears at her and she throws him in the fire. And you didn't like that? That didn't scare you?
What I could call stupid.
That scene
I didn't see it because it's ridiculous.
Scared me. Poltergeist with the clown.
Wait a minute.
That scared me.
You never saw that?
That's a scary doll. Chucky is kind of a stupid doll. That I don't know how
he is. But that one scene with the girl who played Gillian in Star Trek IV, Kirk's love interest. I can't remember the actress's name. She was from Seventh Heaven or whatever the show is called. And she picked up Chucky and she said, speak or whatever, and she's like shaking him. She saw that he has no batteries in the bag, and then he goes crazy. One of the scariest scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Hicks.
Yeah, Catherine Hicks. Thank you. That
so you
one
want to know
scene.
what the most
oh my god!
terrifying? Do you want to know what the most terrifying scene ever in a movie is? The transporter accident in the motion picture.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's still terrifying to me.
That is traumatizing.
You know what?
You don't even see those.
It's funny you said that because
Chucky is not traumatizing.
Yeah.
Event Horizon, the entire
it's just
movie
ridiculous.
Event Horizon is the beginning of Warhammer 40K.
Exactly. Yeah, but anybody who saw that scene, the way they filmed it.
Here's how I look at the Child's Play franchise.
I'm just talking about the first one. The rest, I don't care.
Well, in general, the reason it still exists is guys like us were like 10, 12 years old when it first came out, and we remember it a whole lot differently from when being little kids than when you go back as an adult and you watch this and you go, this is just fucking stupid.
Yeah, you're probably right. I can't believe how much I argued about the Mark Hamill thing. I know I'm right. Luke is going to show up, but, you know.
Well, you were right about the poster.
Let's move on.
I mean, you were right about the poster. So
you know what, that poster thing, by the way, do we really want to talk about that on this show? Because I was wrong. I think I was wrong. We don't know for sure. This hasn't been confirmed.
You were wrong.
Oh my.
That poster was... Let's move on.
You want to die on that hill, George?
I don't want to die on that hill. You're right, Raul. This is a good Game of Thrones thing there.
What else we got going on, guys?
I'm going to tell you guys this. I don't even want to talk about Zack Snyder because I hate him. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story, and then we'll probably wrap it up. So I had a story that has to do with the game Magic: The Gathering, and then we can talk about what leads off into this because a couple of you wanted to talk about this other article that Sun is.
Let's talk about the article.
Before I tell you I'll tell you my story first. It's a real story. I was playing Magic: The Gathering years and years ago. I think it was like 15 years ago. And it took me, I had this one friend that was like very seriously into it. And he was always winning. So I went to this hobby store one time. And I'm talking to the guy that owns the shop. And I said, I need to beat my friend because he's always winning. And he goes, well, if you pay this much, I can give you this deck. It's called an Earthshaker deck. It's all blue, and it sounds like your friend's a red player. I say, yeah, he is. And he goes, well, you buy this deck, you will beat him, but you have to use your brains when you're doing it. You can't just lay the cards down. You have to actually use the strategy. And he explained his idea of what a strategy would be. So when I used the deck, it took a long time, and my ex-wife, the third ex-wife, I think, was with me, and I beat him. As soon as I beat him, he grabbed a shotgun. A loaded double-barrel shotgun, and he pulled it on me. And he told me to get the F out of his house, or he would kill me. We're still friends, but I'm just saying, like, this is how passionate...
That's the funniest part of this story, to be honest.
He pulled a shotgun on me and told me he'd kill him. We're still friends.
I mean, people get this passionate about it. Sean, you posted... Go ahead.
That's a deal breaker. That's kind of a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, a loaded shotgun would pretty much be my, line you don't cross.
I mean, I don't know what it was, but I was like, you had to be there during that card battle. We were like he thought for sure, he was like some of the characters in Game of Thrones, he was like, I'm going to win because I'm a master strategist. And he didn't know that, like, I kind of cheated because I bought a pre-made deck that... And the guy wasn't wrong. The store owner assured me, and he was right.
You didn't cheat, though.
I didn't really cheat, actually.
You used the rules of the game. It's fine.
You're right. I actually just basically invested in a strategy that won. And he was not prepared for that. He was assuming that I would just play the way I always do. But like Game of Thrones, you sometimes look for other answers to win the day. And he lost, and he couldn't handle it. But some of these players, when it comes to Magic or any other game that have that kind of a passionate following, whether it's a video game or a card game, some people get really...
Some people get stupid.
They get stupid.
The whole point. They get stupid.
Yeah, they do.
Toxicity in gaming is a long story. It's a long story. I remember there was stories in the '80s about people killing their GMs because they killed their character. I remember this.
Yeah. Yeah, I made the mistake of killing one of my friend's characters once, and
Son,
he didn't pull a shotgun on me, but that
son,
was
tell us.
So okay,
Yes,
so
son.
the reason
Tell
this
us,
reason
tell
this
us the
story was
story.
spurned was because of the recent news that the guy who made the 911 hoax call in Kansas that got a man killed has been sentenced. Now, he'd already pleaded guilty to the charges. I'm not going to say the guy's name, just flat out. I'm
No,
not
go
gonna say
ahead. It's a news
But-
thing. If you want to, say it.
I understand that, but to release, for me personally, to release this guy's name for having killed somebody, people get followings in jail. Okay, so I'm just not going to say his name.
You've got
him getting any sort of jail fame.
Right, you have the same philosophy that Philip DeFranco does. That he doesn't give the names of serial killers and people that do mass shootings and things like that. He doesn't want to give them any more publicity. I appreciate that.
Basically, when this guy was when he was sent to trial last year, he pleaded guilty to, I believe, almost every charge, and so basically the trial just became a formality, and he's just recently been sentenced to 20 years in prison for making a fake 911 call, calling in, a kidnapping / hostage situation, which ultimately got a Kansas man killed. An innocent man.
And what was the game they were doing again?
So the guy that made the hoax 911 call was a third party to a dispute over a $2 bet in Call of Duty.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep. I remember this story. You talked about it earlier. Huh. Well, people are just kind of all fuckered up. That's the way I see it. I mean...
That's a very good way of putting it.
Anybody else disagree with that? I mean...
Well, it's hard to disagree with that.
People just get stupid.
I mean, I just remember...
Well, here's the thing. This is why I don't play on Call of Duty or Battlefield online, because there would be a wake of dead 12-year-olds in my path for owning me every time. Seriously, just.
Well, that's why I gave up console gaming, Sean, because I got tired of little 10-year-olds from England cursing me out like worse than I've ever had in real life.
They're good at it too.
No,
they're excellent. They've never had a beer, George, so forget it. Their reactions are awesome.
Oh, we don't know that. We don't know that. I mean,
so emasculating. It's so emasculating. But yeah, I mean, people get so invested in this shit. I mean, I have fun, having a nice heated debate about Mark Hamill and Luke Skywalker being in the Mandalorian. But shit, man, I'm not swatting George over it. For fuck's sake,
not yet.
It's this level where the shit becomes these people's entire lives, and I can't understand.
But why swat George over the Mandalorian when Karma can kick his ass for you?
Well, that's exactly. Yeah, right.
Well,
that sounds like an adult talking.
Yeah,
I know. Can you believe it?
The thing about gaming and heatedness is that the culture on online game, because I play with a lot of younger players, 18 to 21-year-olds, and they're Generation Z. And they're either extremely relaxed, they don't even get bothered by the worst kind of attitude you could have, or they're the exact opposite. It's like a 50-50 division of the young people, right? And I play in competitive games where this is kind of an expectation. So it's just interesting. It's an interesting dynamic of the youngest players.
Are you saying there seems to be no middle ground?
There's no middle ground, Sean. I have never seen a middle ground. Either the people I play with are heated to the point where they jump off of Discord, they jump off of the game after they lose a game because we're all awful and we shouldn't be playing the game, or they're just like, okay, it's time for another match, man. I'm gonna go have a beer, that sort of thing.
At least, like, it's not like, okay, when I give you the example of my friend who pulled the shotgun on me, back then we didn't have the option to do the kind of online playing. Like, I could go online right now.
George, for your sake, you should go online. You shouldn't play Magic the Gathering anymore.
Well, they have Magic the Gathering MMO coming out from Cryptic that I'm actually curious about.
Actually, there's this new magical app on your phone, George. It's called Grinder. You should play it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, but then he'll find Carlos.
Oh, you are such a cruel bastard when you want to
be
be.
worse.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
it's cool. Hey, it's cool to cross swords with Carlos.
I have many
He's not going to
times.
find Carlos.
I have many a time
No.
Go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
He's
He's
not going to find Carlos because he's not going to find Carlos because he's going to keep. No, he's going to keep searching for Raul. Is what's going to happen.
Oh, trust me, George. You'll find plenty of Raúls interested in you. Trust me.
You bowel.
Yes.
That pretty much says it all, George.
Yeah, that laugh is like straight out of Halloween, the witching season. That one.
I have not much more.
Bowel.
Bastard. You know what's funny is earlier in the chat, Carlos doesn't even know it, but if you was to scroll back in our Facebook chat, he actually did the little abbreviation thing. He said Raul, and it separated it the way he would if it was bowel. It was kind of funny, actually. I was going to say something.
Yeah, that's how I write Raul from now on.
Great. I love it.
All right,
George
you guys.
just Carlos.
I mean...
before we leave the gaming
go ahead.
thing, because, I think this is another example of... and we've talked about this before with regard to toxic fandom, and it's basically the same thing.
Yes.
The psychological problem at the heart of this is that people have integrated this game into their personality, into their sense of who they are. And so anything you do that's against the game, they take personally because they are the game. And so they react the way they would react as if you actually had, say, I don't know, pointed a loaded shotgun at them.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you.
But we're still friends.
I am actually still friends with him. I know it sounds weird.
No, George, it's not weird. It's just not bright. That guy could literally kill you next time he has a problem.
When it happened, he didn't shoot, so I was just like,
yeah, but he pulled a loaded shotgun at you,
that's
George.
a plus.
I mean, he didn't kill me, so I was like,
We'll put a mark in the plus column for that.
He did a lot of nice things for me
How
after
many
that.
cobras
So.
are you friends with? I'm just curious.
How many what?
Poisonous cobras are you friends with?
Sorry.
Because they haven't killed you yet either.
I mean, he enjoyed Cobra Kai, so that's one.
Oh, God, that show's awesome.
George,
when season 2 starts, we'll
George,
be talking about that.
Let me ask you a question. You were in the military, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have experience in training with firearms, correct?
Yeah. And grenades. And rocket launcher.
Good to know. Good to know.
Okay, what's one of the first things they teach you about when you point your weapon?
You point it away from someone that's alive. It's for the purpose so that you don't kill them.
No, you never. No. I think you missed
that you never pull a weapon on a person unless you intend to kill them.
Yeah. Well, unless it was a target.
Them. Exactly. You never.
Well, we had to point it at a fake dummy to get the score we had.
You never point your weapon at anything you don't intend to shoot. Period.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
So you gotta. This is what it comes down to. He pulled a fucking.
He didn't actually point it. He just Yes, actually, he did.
George,
he actually pointed at my ex-wife.
Unfriend this fucker.
Actually, I might go block him right now.
Yeah.
You guys have.
might be a good idea.
The Stockholm Syndrome on George right now. Jesus Christ.
No, he's a good guy.
No, he's not.
Oh my God, George!
I don't
He is
actually
not
know
a
if
good
it was
guy.
loaded. He claimed it
Holy
was.
shit!
He
What
just
the fuck?
he pulled
This is
out the
fucking
shotgun.
amazing.
You know, he was a farmer.
George, if he pulled a shotgun on me, I would get away from that situation and then find a way to get him in jail.
After that incident happened, though, we had many good times playing D&D where I was running his
Holy
character.
So, you're,
At least until you
you're
kill his
D&D
character and you pull your
magic-
shotgun.
Even after my
This is
ex-wife left me.
worse. This is worse than the Mark Hamill discussion.
I mean, my ex-wife did. My ex-wife did
Did
say
you
to me,
understand, George, that pointing a gun at you that's a felony. That's
I
assault.
mean, he did actually use the words, "Get the fuck out of my house before I blow your head off." And my ex-wife was like, "Can we leave now?" And I was like, "Yeah, I suppose we should."
You know,
George,
so
you
you
not
got-
realize that's terroristic threatening by today's standards.
Back then, though, it was like,
yeah, everybody does that, right? So basically, so you've got redneck farmer who you play D&D and Magic the Gathering with. The only thing that's missing from the story is the daughter who he tells you you're not.
he
allowed
was
to
a
sex
ginger.
with.
Now that I think back on it,
For fuck's
I'm
sake.
now imagining
What?
a gamer version of Deliverance. What about you guys?
he was a
Yeah.
ginger.
Da, 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 dum.
You got a pretty mouth, George.
This is getting.
You got a pretty mouth.
He was a ginger. I remember back now.
Oh my god. Stop!
I'm not sure
Stop!
what. It means,
Okay,
but
we should end the
okay.
show. Bye.
Yeah, I think we should end the show.
Anyways,
On that note,
he's still on my Facebook feed too, so he
Please
might hear
stop.
this.
Oh my
I
God!
I don't give a shit. He's not gonna kill me.
Stop! Stop, George!
I don't know. He might.
Quiet.
He's kind of
Quietly
crazy.
unfriend him.
He has a
Yeah,
red
yeah.
truck.
Is he-
Just so you know. I'm joking.
Yeah,
No,
you
he-
know what, guy with the shotgun? I'll kill you first. How about that?
Home.
Actually, I don't know if he still has a red truck. He did last time I checked.
But
Anyways,
at that point in the show,
Oh
where
my god, can you shut up?
no, I'm the host. I can't.
oh George, you just wow,
Oh,
wow.
this has gone off the rails.
I mean,
Good
like,
night,
This has
Holy
gone off
shit.
the rails.
Good
You
night.
guys
I
made
mean,
it.
like,
You guys made
PM's
it
going,
weird.
George is melting down over here. This is hilarious.
I'm not melting down. I just had a friend that pulled a shotgun on me. It's not like
my
he would have
God.
killed me.
Yes.
Oh,
My girlfriend's laughing her ass off right now. She's laughing her ass off right now. In fact, I've never heard her laugh so loud in my life.
Oh my god! He just pulled a shotgun on me. It's not like he would have killed me.
That's actually the funniest laugh I've ever heard in my life. Next to what my girlfriend's doing right now.
it's because you said the most ridiculous thing she's ever heard
This
in
is
her
more
life.
ridiculous than the discussion we just had.
If you like more of the ridiculous things, if you like more of the
You murdered.
if you like more of the ridiculous sounds coming from each of us, mostly me. Actually, Son's laugh's pretty funny. Subscribe to TR Super Geeks on YouTube, and that's our YouTube channel. Also, you can join the Real Super Geeks on Facebook. It's a pretty cool group that Sean started for us. Carlos, where can people find you on social media?
I am on Twitter at cpedraza and at Axe Monitor, on Facebook and the Axe Monitor Facebook group, and online at axemonitor.com.
Awesome. And what about you, Raul?
I am in the same group as everybody else, and you can friend me. I'm perfectly friendly, so go ahead.
Yeah, but where can people find you? I mean,
Facebook.
who are
Raul
you?
Pedraza,
In the
in
Real
Arizona.
Super Geeks.
In the Real Super Geeks.
Yeah,
I'm
but
there.
what's your name in the Real Super Geeks?
Oh, I'm
I think
Raul
it's
the Baul.
Raul.
I think you changed my name, actually.
Do you have a secret identity in the Real Super Geeks?
No, I'm the Baul. Like you, I'm here.
No, well, you're Raul Pedraza.
Oh God.
Oh my God,
no.
I just mixed
That
you guys
fell
up again.
flat.
You
so
just
bad.
did it again.
I was
Where's my
doing
shotgun?
so well.
You may
It
be
wasn't
the
even on
funniest
purpose.
white person
That's
I've
why
talked
it's so
to all
beautiful.
night.
Ah! Did I really call you Raul Pedraza? That's fucked up. Holy shit! I can't believe I did that.
We
Are you guys
do.
married now? That was messed up.
Yep.
Yes, we crossed streams a long time ago.
Well, your last name's not completely dissimilar. It's Raul Padrona, right?
Yeah, of course, George. Just like your name is similar from Sam.
Yeah, actually, Silsby is very similar to O'Halloran. So
I mean, it
I'm
is.
surprised you
I
don't
get the
fuck
two
that
of you
up
mixed up all the time.
I knew
Always,
it.
I know.
I knew it.
Carlos, white people look alike.
They do to me.
All of us.
That's right. You know, I once married a black woman.
Ah, shit. Did you really?
Yes. No,
Okay.
I'm talking like you, George.
Well, I didn't marry a black woman. I almost married a black woman.
George,
Oh,
let me
okay.
ask you a question. On the back of a black woman's neck, what do they call that? Real quick, don't look at it.
I don't know, because I was always looking up because she was riding. Anyways, let's go on to the next subject.
Oh my God! Cut that out.
Yeah, Raul.
Seriously.
I mean, edit
no,
it
You
I'm
know
out.
talking to
nothing,
you when
George.
you do
You
the
know
edit.
nothing, George Stark, whatever your name is.
You know, son, how are you doing? I mean, oh, no, sorry. Sean, where can people find you?
Well, Archie Bunker, you can find me at the Spartan Arms gun store, which is not too far from me. I'm getting a whole bunch of bullets to send to you so you can take care of any threats from Magic the Gathering playing farmers that may come your way. So I'm looking out for you, pal.
Oh, my God.
It's true. We're concerned
And,
for your safety, George.
It was like 15
Shit,
years
man.
ago.
Oh, yeah.
We were both over it.
You're still
I haven't even
friends
seen
with
the guy for like 2 years.
2 years?
And the last time I saw him,
Oh, man.
he gave me a ride somewhere.
I'm sure he did.
That's what she said.
He had gotten married, and he's a better person now.
Yeah, right.
He has
Well, yeah,
stepchildren. He has stepchildren.
Great.
He's a
I
redheaded
feel bad for them.
stepfather. God, son, where can we find you?
So I'll be...
Yeah, Sean. Sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
Real Super Geeks Facebook group. That's where I'm hanging out mostly these days. Axa Monitor, whenever we get, I'm there at the Axa Monitor group, and hopefully we'll get some more fun stuff soon here from the Axa situation. But yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me.
And son, where can people find you?
In an iron lung, I hurt from my shoulders to my gut. Oh,
Almost like you were
laughing
shot
that
by a
hard.
shotgun.
Laughing
It
that
is kind of
hard
funny. I'm
hurt.
sorry.
Oh my god,
That
laughing
cackle
that
was out
hard
of control,
hurt.
son. That was a
That
I
serious
was some
cackle.
funny shit, man. Holy shit! I don't even need
Out of
weed. Fuck.
George
All
will
right,
not be outlawed by the federal government.
See, there you go, George. That'll be on your tombstone, George Silsby.
My
Better than
epitaph
weed, man.
is going to
Better
be
than
whatever
weed,
the
man.
last thing I said on Super Geeks lately. I mean,
Okay, good night, everyone.
Good night,
and
everybody.
yeah. So I already said where you can find us. Oh, Subspace Radio.
Son,
Subspace.
No,
You already
it's
told
okay. People
Oh,
already
Jim.
know.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Do we know that?
Yeah,
Wait.
Sunsail.fan.
She's in pain.
Bandcamp.
That's right, Bandcamp.
Son.
It's okay. You can just find me on the Real Super Geeks group.
No, I was
Yeah,
going to
that's-
ask you.
It actually hurts to speak.
What was that
so
one
go
time
on.
that happened at
Move
band
on.
camp?
Just
Fuck,
leave her
move
alone.
on. It
Leave her
hurt.
alone. Okay.
All right, you
good
guys. All right, you
We're
guys.
done.
Well, I'm going to end the show only because
Thank
if I
God.
don't, one of our hosts might go into the emergency room. So we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you the next time.